Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. My name is Ruben and today I want to give you an update on Virgin Galactic Holdings. Virgin Galactic Holdings is the world's first publicly traded spaceflight company focusing on the space tourism business. Well, first, let's have a look at a short company video clip.
Last December, Virgin Galactic launched the first and only human spaceflight from American soil since the final space shuttle mission in 2011.
Fire! Right motor burn, everybody. We're going to space, Richard.
Then in February, we flew faster and higher into space, this time with a crew of 3 people on board, one of which became the first person to float freely in microgravity on board a commercial spaceship.
Capital market summary. The stock is trading around $34 to $35 at the day of the recording. If you look at the market capitalization for Virgin Galactic, they have a market cap of approximately $8.2 billion. The price to earnings ratio is not visible because the company is still making a loss. In fact, last quarter they had 0 revenue at all. If you look at the recent news, on February 25th, Virgin Galactic further delays Spaceship Two test flights. And the 2nd of March in 2021, one of their largest investors, Shamat, he confirmed selling all of his shares in Virgin Galactic Holdings. The 2020 achievements for the company: in the second quarter, Virgin completed 2 successful glide flights that provided Virgin with valuable data on the ship and trading for their team pilots. Following these glide flights, they were able to complete 7 FAA verification and validation reports, putting them in a strong position where they actually now cleared 27 of 29 reports that will address the proviso on their currently active FAA operation license. During the Q4 2020 conference call, the CEO Michael Colglazier outlined 3 focus areas. One is fleet readiness, the second is completing the test flight program, and the third area of focus he mentioned was preparing for commercial service. But now we will first focus on the test flight program. The first test flight will be a rocket-powered space flight with 2 pilots on board. They want to aim to complete data for final 2 FAA verification reports. Remember that I mentioned this earlier, that they already have 27 out of 29 of these reports, so they are actually very close right now. Furthermore, it will be a revenue-generating payload under the NASA Flight Opportunities Program. The second test flight will be a rocket-powered spaceflight, and instead of going with 2 pilots only, this time they also want to add a full cabin of mission specialists. For the third test flight, they want to demonstrate private astronaut experience and take the man himself, Richard Branson, to space. Well, here's an update on the test flight from Virgin Galactic. Last December in 2020, they did a test flight, but the rocket motor halted as it was starting the ignition sequence because the onboard rocket motor computer lost connection. Virgin wanted to do another test flight last February, but they uncovered additional EMI impacts during the pre-flight preparations for February 13. This was discussed during the conference call, and now they need more time to really address these EMI issues, and Virgin expects to do another test flight in May 2021. So what about consumer demand? Virgin saw great success with their One Step Small program, which demonstrated strong consumer demand for spaceflight. They closed the program with approximately 1,000 people signed up with it, and they are pleased that their total number of future astronauts remained at approximately 600 at the end of the year in 2020. So Virgin's spaceflight system is built to serve 3 markets. The first one is private astronaut. The second one is microgravity research, both human tandem and payload only. And the third thing that they want to focus on is professional astronaut training. On top of that, Virgin also announced the confirmation of Italian Air Force flight as well. Virgin is also preparing for fleet expansion, while the gist of it, of what they discussed during the call, is as follows. They want to roll out a second spaceship, also called the Spaceship 3, on March 30 in 2021, and they want to begin assembly of the second vehicle in the Spaceship 3 class, and implement a series of vehicle enhancements in preparation for start of private astronaut commercial flights. Well, they also talked during the conference call about scaling manufacturing and build-to-put plan into action. What does it mean? They want to pivot from R&D to manufacturing to achieve multi-year efforts that will target flying 400 flights per year per spaceport. So they want to invest in manufacturing facilities, processes, and partnerships. And on the other hand, they want to commence design efforts on new classes of spaceships and motherships by focusing on like higher capacity, making it way more efficient, focusing on reduced, more reliable turnaround time, and the scalability, of course. Part of the company's strategy is focusing on moving from Chapter 1 to Chapter 2. This means accelerating their path to commercialization. Therefore, Virgin is hiring new talent to realize this. First, they introduced an aerospace leadership with 2 people. Second, they started to hiring a new CFO called Doe Ahrens. The third one is that they introduced a commercial advisory board consisting of 3 people. And lastly, they introduced a space advisory board consisting of 4 people. And all of this together should really put the company forward, Orbital aerospace is a big idea. Virgin Galactic is planning to operate a space tourism business in the short term. But ARKX research suggests that the bigger opportunity over the long term is in the point-to-point hypersonic travel. What does this mean? While private planes can save passengers significant time on short-haul flights, they fail to do so for long-haul flights. An unmet need that hypersonic flight should be able to fill. And this is a place where Virgin Galactic can step in. Private flights typically offer a luxury service characterized importantly by the time saved to reach small cities. In 2018, private planes accounted for roughly 0.4% of US passenger flights, according to the Department of Transportation. As shown here, 77% of those trips covered fewer than 1,500 miles, and according to ARKX research, they saved more than 50% of the time that commercial flights would have taken. Flights follow a long-tail distribution, which you can see here. Private flight is suited for the short-haul market, while hypersonic flight could solve long-haul needs. In their big ideas, I also found a calculation for the total addressable market. It's all based on assumptions. 4.5 billion passengers flew in 2018. 15% of the flights were longer than 7 hours. Then you get a total of 680 million passengers. 0.4% of these passengers flew private, based on data. Then you get a total of 2.7 million people. If you charge $100,000 per hypersonic flight, you get a total addressable market of 270 billion in annual revenues. Passengers on the short-haul flights are willing to pay roughly $15,000 for every 2 hours saved on private planes. If you plug that into this formula, you get an average cost of $100,000. I also found an estimation from UBS, and they estimated a cost of $400,000. Putting everything together right now, we estimated the price range for the ticket, which is varying between $100,000 for ARK and $400,000 for UBS. We know that 1,000 people signed up for Virgin Galactic, which gives us a total potential revenue of $100 to $400 million. Insider selling. The main takeaway here is that Shamat recently sold all his shares in the company. Shamat is known from doing a lot of SPAC deals, and the reason he gave for selling his full stake is that he needed the money to redirect it into a large investment for fighting climate change. Shamat had 15.5% of the company. If you subtract that from the 16.2% of the 11 individuals, you have 0.7% left for the remaining executives. The financial results. In the last quarter, the company had zero revenue. Therefore, I don't go over the income statement, the balance sheet and the cash flow statement because it really doesn't make sense. The takeaway is as follows. Last year, they had a loss of 273 million compared to 211 million in 2019. Capital allocation. In the last quarter, the company had cash and cash equivalents of $666 million. For the first quarter in 2021, the company expects to burn 60 million. If you divide that, they have 11 quarters left approximately. Also, it was mentioned during the conference call that they want to offer equity strategically if they really need more money. Lastly, the opportunity and the risks. Well, Virgin is the world's firstly publicly traded human spaceflight company because SpaceX and Blue Origin, they are not public yet. The company is really transitioning from chapter 1 to chapter 2. They are hiring new people. There is strong consumer demand. They already have like 1,000 people that signed up. Virgin Galactic is operating in this space tourism business, and we saw that the bigger opportunity seems to be in the hypersonic travel. They are well capitalized, and I also believe that in this whole space area that Virgin Galactic can be one of the main players. And from a general point of view, space is about to take off. Regarding the risks, Shamat, he sold his full stake. You can actually question like, is the reason that he gave, is that valid or not? I leave that totally up to you. Yeah, these test flights, they have been delayed. And that sounds really great on paper, but will they execute? And from my point of view, it's all about execution. They really have to get this done. Besides that, but that's the nature of this whole space business, it's capex intensive. They have a burn rate of 60 million per quarter. And what I heard from the conference call is that they also look to do stock offerings if they really need the money, because they still have to grow this business. Thank you very much for watching this video. Always do your own due diligence, and see you on the next company.